What's up, YouTube? It's your girl Kenzo for Life here, and today we're going to be talking about can you really find love in gaming? A gamer girl's guide. Okay, let's talk. People say finding love in a world of pixels and usernames like Mega Gamer 420 is a complete fantasy. That's the whole gamer girl thing. It's either a government conspiracy or we're all just faking it for attention. Well, as someone who has navigated the glorious and, let's be real, often dumpster fire-ish world of online gaming, I'm here to tell you that finding love is not only possible, it can be the most epic tier loot drop of your entire life. My name is Kenzo for Life, and I've logged more hours in-game than I probably should admit to a licensed professional. In that time, I've seen it all. I've found friends for life. I've stumbled upon the absolute dregs of humanity that make you question evolution. And yes, I've found real, meaningful connections that actually turned into relationships. With, people who breathe air. I'm not selling you a pay-to-win fairy tale here. I'm giving you the walkthrough, the cheat codes. Because finding love in gaming isn't luck. It's about being smart, being safe, and knowing the map. So grab your headset and let's get into it. Alright, before we get to the good stuff, we have to face the first boss. The absolute tire fire it can be for women in gaming. Let's be honest. Logging on while female is like accidentally activating veteran mode with every negative modifier permanently on. The second you unmute your mic in a random lobby, you can feel the entire vibe shift. Suddenly, you're not just a support who actually heals, you're a gamer girl. A rare mythical mermaid who must be observed, interrogated about your favorite color, or immediately hit on with the grace of a charging rhino. This isn't just in our heads. Women in gaming get hit with a tidal wave of gatekeeping, gross sexist comments, and a level of unsolicited thirst that could solve a global drought. It makes it hard to just enjoy the game, let alone try to actually connect with someone. So, many of us have a pre-game ritual of picking a gender-neutral username and vowing not to use voice chat, just to avoid the nonsense. It's a full-time job trying to decipher if a guy is being nice because he respects your god-tier shooter skills or because he has a bizarre anime-fueled fantasy about you in cat ears. And that's the real problem, right? How are you supposed to build a real connection when you're starting on the defense? How can you be open to finding a partner when the environment makes you want to build a digital fortress around yourself? You have to sift through so many trolls and people who don't see you. They just see a stereotype. This isn't to scare you off. It's to say, yeah, but you've experienced is real, it's tough. But knowing the terrain is the first step to conquering it. Now that we've acknowledged the final boss, let's talk strategy. Okay, let's get to the good part. This is your skill tree. Put points into each of these and your quest for a genuine connection will get a whole lot easier. Look, not all gaming communities are created equal. Trying to find a soulful, deep connection in the public voice chat of a hyper-competitive shooter is like trying to have a heart-to-heart at a monster truck rally. The environment is just not designed for it. Where you spend your time online matters a lot. You need to look for games that are practically built for teamwork and talking. MMOs are the OG for this. Games like Final Fantasy XIV or World of Warcraft have social structures built right in. You join guilds or free companies and you work together for weeks, even months, to down a boss. You're spending hours on Discord, not just screaming callouts, but planning, joking, and just chatting. You really get to know people, their patience, their sense of humor when the whole raid is on fire. It's the classic love story. He was the sturdy tank taking all the hits, and she was the healer desperately trying to keep his health bar from zeroing out. If that's not a metaphor for a relationship, I don't know what is. But it's also about the community around the game. Find dedicated Discord servers, subreddits like Girl Gamers, and Facebook groups. These spots are usually moderated by people who actually care about making them safe and inclusive. Communities like the Game Hers and Black Girl Gamers are out there, creating amazing supportive spaces. Finding the right server is like finding your home base in a zombie game. A safe place to hang out without having to check over your shoulder every 2 seconds. In dating, we talk about red flags. In gaming, they're practically giant flashing raid markers. The player who shrieks like a banshee because a newbie stood in the fire for half a second. That's not a red flag. That's a 5-alarm blaze. Someone who's condescending or makes gross jokes and then says, "Come on, it's just a joke." Giant red flag. The guy who 30 seconds after hearing your voice slides into your DMs with, "Hey baby." Yeah, that's a red flag too. But just as important is learning to spot the green flags. A green flag is the player who, when you totally beef a mechanic and wipe the entire group, just says, "No worries, we'll go again." That person is a saint. It's the person who patiently explains a strategy without making you feel like a complete idiot. It's the guild leader who immediately stomps out toxic comments in the chat. These aren't just signs of a good player. They're signs of a mature, respectful human. The absolute bedrock of a good relationship. Pay attention to how people treat everyone, not just you. Are they a good sport? Do they actually listen in conversation? Someone who's a good teammate and a respectful community member has a way higher chance of being a good partner. For so long, many of us have played on stealth mode. Gender neutral name, no voice chat, just trying to blend in. But here's the deal. You can't find a genuine connection if you're not being your genuine self. You are a woman who loves gaming. That's a launch day feature, not a post-patch bug. So own it. Be you. Geek out about the game lore you love. Share your in-game goals, join the guild events, and show off your skills. This isn't about begging for approval. It's about confidently taking up space in your own hobby when you're authentic. You attract people who like you for you, not some weird projection of you. This is where you take your power back. You're not changing yourself to be liked. You're waiting for someone who respects and vibes with the person you already are. And your passion for gaming is part of that package. A good partner will think it's cool, not something they have to deal with. This part is not a drill. Your safety, online and offline, is priority number one. Before you even think about taking a connection to the next level, you need to have your guard up in a smart way. First, slow down. There's no rush to move the chat off of Discord. Get to know someone over weeks or even months. A person's true color, good or bad, always comes out eventually. Usually during a particularly stressful raid night. Second, Guard your personal info like it's a unique Mythic Tier account bound item. Don't give out your full name, where you live, or your personal social media until you are 100% sure and have built some real trust. And please use the tools you have. The block and report buttons are your best friends. They ask no questions and show no mercy. Don't you ever feel bad about using them. If someone makes you feel weird, you don't owe them a thing. Block, report, gone. Your peace is more important than their feelings, and trust your gut. If someone or something feels off, it probably is. Our intuition is the best anti-cheat software we have. So, you did it. You found someone. You've been gaming for months. You chat all the time and it's nothing but green flags. You feel a real spark. Moving from the virtual world to the real one is a huge next step, and you gotta be careful. When you decide to meet up, it has to be in a public place, a coffee shop, a park, maybe even a gaming convention, somewhere with other people. And always tell a friend or family member your plan, who you're meeting, where you're going, and when you'll check in. Be prepared. Online chemistry always doesn't translate perfectly to in-person chemistry, and that is okay. The first date might be a little awkward. You've seen their perfectly geared out paladin, but you haven't seen them try to parallel park. It's different. The key is to communicate and keep your expectations realistic. And if it doesn't work out, find a healthy balance between your game life and your non-gaming life. A great relationship has room for both co-op mode and solo campaigns. So, quick story. I met a guy years ago in Warframe. I was the guild master, the slightly chaotic, let's just charge in type. He was my second in command, the calm, collected strategist who actually read the mission briefing. We spent endless hours running missions, and I never felt like I had to hide behind being a woman. He knew from day one, and it was just not a thing. He treated me with the same respect he treated every other player, and the Grenier with the same overwhelming force. Honestly, what more can you ask for? Eventually, our in-game chats turned into all-night conversations on Discord about everything but the game. When we finally decided to meet, I was a wreck, but we followed all the safety rules. We met for coffee, and it was just easy. The friendship and teamwork we built in Warframe made the real world stuff, the awkward who pays for the bill dance, feel totally natural. That digital friendship was the foundation for a real loving relationship. It's proof these connections aren't just real. They can be even stronger because they're built on teamwork and respect, not just what you look like. Now, I want to hear from you. This whole journey is different for everyone. What's the most unhinged thing someone has said to you in voice chat? Have you ever met a teammate who was a walking green flag? Drop your war stories in the comments. Seriously, sharing this stuff is how we make the community better and safer for all of us. So, can you really find love in gaming? 100% yes. It's not a fantasy. It's a real thing for so many people who found their partner because they both loved the same virtual world. It's not always easy. And it means you have to be smart, safe, and so completely unapologetically you that the trolls just short circuit. This is not about changing yourself. It's about finding the right servers and the right people who think you're awesome, in game and out. By choosing your communities wisely, learning to spot the good ones, protecting yourself, and just being you, you're not leaving love to luck. You're using a strategy guide. The digital world is huge and full of possibilities. Now go out there and find your player too.